24 megabytes per second. Hello and welcome to another video from the only channel that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today is just basically what they call an unboxing. It really isn't, because I've already unboxed this stuff, but it's show and tell. Today is show and tell. I've been talking about getting new equipment, new camera, which seems nonsensical since I've only had the other one for about 2 years. But this is my old camera. It's a Canon Vixia, but it's a expensive Vixia. This thing was probably $1,200 new. And at the time I bought it, it wasn't new. They had already come out with a newer model, so this was $950. And they were selling these as refurbished for $450. Well, at the same time, this like consumer grade camera had come out. It was the brand new thing at the time, and it was $300, you know, and everybody was buying them up because that was a really good deal at the time for a camera with all the features that this camera has. And so I thought, well, I might as well get the new one. And I like small stuff, light stuff that I can carry into the woods. And but at the same time, I knew that this was like my career, being sustenance and covering. And so I wanted something professional grade to do. And the specs were a little bit better on that. And the whole thing was that this camera records in like ultra high definition. Now the plan was to get this camera and make all of my videos in, you know, ultra high def, but then upload them in lower def, because I really don't have the bandwidth to be uploading big files. You know, this thing here, 1 hour of footage, I think it's 5 or 6 gigabytes. It takes me 24 hours to upload just a single, you know, 1 hour video, which means that for a solid day, me and my wife can't watch TV or anything because the buffering is just terrible. And we can't use Skype, you know, unless we use it with the audio or with the video off. And we're just all, it makes it uncomfortable to use the internet when this is uploading. So I should have got this to start with, because it was like 300 versus 450, and it's a huge difference in the quality, and I just thought that I needed this. And I'm glad I had it. I mean, the video that I've been posting is coming out really good, but it's one of those things that where if you try to upload in 720, all the converter programs just make it look terrible. And even this, for some reason, I don't know why, it may be that YouTube is adjusting. It's like sometimes I'm extremely pleased with the way the video comes out on YouTube. But other times, the video that I capture on my camera doesn't look anything like what ends up on YouTube. And I don't know why. So anyway, yeah, it's something to do with the conversion process. So this is what we're using now. Now, I really like this little camera because it has all the same features as that camera that I use. There's a lot of features on there that I never use, and that's what I was actually paying for. But the thing, in my mind, what I was paying for was the lens. Because the bigger the lens, the better your image quality. And so you can see, the older camera had a really big lens, which was important to me. But at the same time, I've had cameras that were like pocket cameras, those old flip cameras that Cisco made years ago. And they're incredible quality, and it's like a pinhole. The little lens is so tiny, but it came out very acceptable. The only reason I never use those cameras is because they're actually, you know, use regular AA batteries. And it's old technology, so you only get like 10 minutes of footage before the batteries go dead. You know, I can't work with that. But this thing here, it looks like you can get 2 hours of footage on here. The battery will last 2 hours, 3 hours, and the 16 gigabyte SD card I put in here will last 2. If I got a 32 gig card, I could actually shoot 4 hours of video, but that's not necessary. I do need more than an hour. If I'm standing in front of a camera and making a 1 hour video, normally I'll talk for an hour and a half and have to edit out the mistakes. So your camera has to be able to record an hour and a half. Now, something else that happened that made this whole thing come about, because I was putting off getting a camera forever. But it just so happened that I was on B&H, and they had these as refurbished for $119. Now, I've learned what refurbished means. It means they take a brand new camera and they put new batteries in it. You know, I've always thought refurbished was where, you know, customers return cameras because they don't want them, and then the company cleans them up a bit and makes sure everything works and resell them. But that cannot be the case, because this thing, of course, it's got fingerprints on it all right now. But that plastic right there, it scratches pretty easy. And if somebody even used this for like a day, there would be a scratch on it somewhere. When I opened the box and pulled the plastic off, it smelled brand new. There was not a scratch on it. So it's a brand new camera. The only thing I can imagine that they did was they took it out of the original box, which would have been shiny like this. You know, it would say Canon and it'd have a picture of the camera and all on it. And they put it into this cardboard box. So the only thing that's refurbished about this camera is it was put in a cardboard box, and maybe the batteries were changed out. But the thing that really put me over the edge is that B&H Photo also sells audio recorders. And if you saw the video I made a week ago, where I'm talking and the voice just all of a sudden goes, that's called I can't remember what they call it, but you know, it's one of those things that normally you can take out with an adjustment. So I adjusted this and shot some more video, and it was terrible, and adjusted it till eventually couldn't hear me. So there was something wrong with the recorder, which was to be expected. About 2 months ago, I came out here and the birds were going crazy. And so I put this thing on a tripod, I set it on record, and I sneaked back to the house so that this thing was sitting out in the quiet woods just recording birds all day. You know, when I'm using this now, and I got that little microphone here, all you really hear is my voice. You don't hear the crows, you don't hear my chickens, you don't hear the birds and the frogs. And you know, that was kind of the point. I wanted to have a clear channel with my voice. But I also wanted those other things in there, just not so much that it would overpower me. And so I was going to record the birds and then add those at a lower volume so you'd have some background, not just my voice. Well, the next day I woke up, it was pouring down rain, and I remembered that this was out there on the tripod. I forgot about it. I brought it in. When I took the back off, water poured out of it. I knew I was in trouble. But I dried it up the best I could. I blew it out with my air compressor, and then I set it under the ceiling fan for a day. When I put the batteries back in and turned it on, everything worked fine. I kind of was relieved, but I had experience with electronics getting wet before, and I knew that it could be a ticking time bomb, and it was, you know. And the bad thing is I always keep a spare, not one of these, but I had a cheaper audio recorder that worked just as good. And I went and got it out, and when I turned it on, the numbers just started spinning out of control. So, I mean, it had like, there's digital information on the front of the recorder when you turn it on, and that digital information was going crazy. And so I knew that that was gone. You know, here's what I'm talking about. And so if I pressed the volume button, it would go up, 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 and it would just keep going. And I press the volume button again, it wouldn't stop. So suddenly I had no audio recorder. And B&H Photo, the people that had that $119 camera, also had audio recorders. So I bought another one of these. This is the old one. I can still use this, like if I'm driving in the car and I get an idea. Yes, make sure to produce a video about Melchizedek sometime in the future. See, and that way I can later listen to it and go, oh yeah, I forgot I had to do that. Oh, but anyway, I got to thinking there's a lot of stuff in Melchizedek, the script, that is good standalone information. So some of these videos that I'm about to post are going to be me giving you little hints about what's in Melchizedek, because I can get out here in front of a camera and talk for 5 minutes about the Bible without messing up too bad. Oh well, that's it. We'll see you. And as always, if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.